All right, so this is the name of the lesson that we are going to start, The Little Girl by Kathleen Mansfield. And like I said, throughout the year, you will find me saying this for a lot of lessons, that the lesson is pretty easy to understand, right? Well, this stands true for all your lessons. What you need to understand is the theme of all the lessons, okay? Now, when we talk about the theme of this particular lesson, The Little Girl, you will find that this lesson is related to all of us, okay? Whether we are talking about ourselves as a child or we are talking about ourselves as a grown up, right? This lesson is something, the feelings that this lesson talks about, these are the feelings that we have all gone through and we still go through, right? Why? The reason is the story talks about the relationship between a father and a daughter, right? How the daughter looks at the father, how the father treats the little girl, that is what the crux of the story is. So when I said that we all can relate to the story, we can relate to the story as a child, right? And we can relate to the story as parent as well, okay? Though the story is written from the perspective of a child, but somewhere we can all relate to the story, be it a child or a parent. Now, why are we reading this lesson? What is the objective behind reading this lesson? Okay, it says the special objective of teaching this lesson is to educate the children some of the integral facts of child psychology. Now, when we talk about child psychology, we are not going deep into the psychology of children. We are only going to focus on the child psychology from the perspective of the relationship children share with their parents, okay? How children and parents share a rapport amongst themselves, that is what the lesson is going to focus on. How we look up to our parents, what we feel about parents, that are all the things about the child psychology that we are going to focus on, right? Continuing now, they must be aware of the universal intention of their parents. The parents are their well-wishers, though they are looking strict. So this very slide gives us a brief introduction about the lesson, that sometimes our parents might be strict with us, right? Sometimes they might scold us, but they don't scold us intentionally. They scold us when they feel that we have made some mistake, right? And they are scolding us not because they want to prove us wrong, right? They scold us because they feel that we have done something that is not right for us. Clear? So basically, what we need to do is, both as children and as parents, we need to understand each other's perspectives, right? When we are talking about any relationship, be it a relationship of parents with their children, or be it a relationship of a teacher and a student, any relationship needs to work in two ways, right? If we expect something from our parents also expect something from us, right? If we as children have certain duties towards our parents also have certain duties towards us, right? So talking about the relationship of the little girl in the story, we are going to see how her relationship with her father is and how it develops in the story. Okay, now the story that we are going to read, it is about a little girl, Kezia, right? And the kind of relationship that she shared with her father. Now, at the beginning of the story, you will find that Kezia was too much afraid of her father. She did not want to come close to her father because she found her father to be extremely strict. Whenever her father was not at home, she would feel relaxed. However, The moment the father would enter the house, she would start shivering. Why would she shiver? Because she was afraid of her father. The moment the father entered the house, she would start stuttering. What do we mean by stuttering? Can anybody tell me what do we mean by stuttering? Anyone? Please raise your hands, those who are aware of the meaning of the word stuttering. Okay. Prerna, I can see your hand raised. Please unmute yourself and tell us what do we mean by stuttering? Prerna, are you able to speak? Is your mic working? Okay, I guess her mic is not working. See children, in case your mic doesn't work, you can always put the answer in the chat box just like attendance. Okay, I can read your answers in the chat box also. Clear? All right. Aditya, please tell us what do we mean by stuttering if you know. Unmute yourself and tell us what do we mean by stuttering. Aditya. Okay, probably Aditya is not able to unmute himself. All right, Sanvi, please tell us what do we mean by stuttering?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, stammer.
Yes, exactly. Stammer means to speak with problem. When our speech is not clear, that is called stammering. Okay, when the words do not come out of our mouths in a clear manner, in a proper manner. So whenever her father would be at home, she would start stuttering. Okay. All right. Prerna has sent a message saying something with difficulty. Good. So whenever her father was at home, she would stammer, she would stutter, and she would shiver, which tells us that she was too much afraid of her father. She did not feel like coming close to her father, right? Now, all of you are sitting with your books on the very first page of the lesson, in the first paragraph of the lesson on page number 32. There is a line at the end of, at the end of the first paragraph. It says, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. I want each one of you to underline this line. I will read it out once again. First paragraph, last lines. There was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage going fainter and fainter down the long road. Like I told you, whenever her father would not be at home, she would feel at ease. She would feel relaxed. Okay, she would feel happy. And whenever he was at home, she would feel afraid. She would not like to leave her room and come closer to him. But after his departure, Kezia felt at ease. When he came back from office, he used to command her to do something to help him by offering him tea or taking his boots from there to shoe stand. So we see that the father in this story, he is not very sweet towards the girl. Okay, he's a very strict, a very stern father, a very controlling father. And the moment he enters the house, he starts giving orders to the little girl, and probably that is the reason why she is afraid of her father so much, right? Because when we read the story, when you read the story, you will find out that nowhere in the lesson, nowhere in the story, we can see the father talking sweetly to the girl. He is always very stern, always very strict, always very harsh towards his own daughter. That is the reason why Kezia doesn't like to come closer to her father. Okay, and he would always give her instructions to do something or the other. Now we move ahead. Kezia always thinks about the strict behavior of her parents. Her mother also behaves with her strictly. Now, the mother in the story, mother is also afraid of the father somewhere, okay? Talking about the characters, we have Kezia, Kezia's father, Kezia's mother, and Kezia's grandmother, right? So there are four people in the family along with a servant, a maid, right? So everybody in the family is basically afraid of the father, and mother is even more afraid of the father That is the reason why even mother cannot express her love openly to her daughter, and even the mother keeps asking Kezia to do one thing or the other for the father, right? Now, come to the second paragraph where number 2 is written. The third line I will read and I want you to underline this. Slowly the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. Okay. Now, the moment the father would enter the house, the speed of the girl would decrease. She would start working slowly. Why? Because she was reluctant to come close to her father. You can underline these lines, right? And just in the space available, you can write this. She was reluctant to come close to her father. Clear? Please write it. Underline the line and write it. She was reluctant to come close to her father because his looks were always very terrifying. He was always in a foul mood. He was always ordering everyone about in the house. That is why she did not want to come close to her father at all. Okay. So now we read ahead. She called her. She came downstairs reluctantly. Her father talked to her, but she stuttered in tension. Then he told her that her mom would take her to the doctor if she would speak like that. So we see that the father is not able to understand why the daughter is stammering so much. Why is she so reluctant to come close to him, right? He just simply goes to the office, comes back from the office, and orders everybody around. He wants things to be done in a certain way, right? Which the girl is not able to understand, right? And when the girl is stammering, he doesn't ask the mother, he doesn't ask the grandmother as to what the problem the child is facing. He simply says that the girl needs to be taken to the doctor if she is going to continue to speak like that, because he feels that probably the girl is facing some kind of a problem. That is why she is not able to speak. Kezia was not too much afraid with any other person except her father. So she would talk properly to her grandmother, right? She was closest to the grandmother, then to the mother, and the least to her father, right? She always tried to have a nice talk with her parents, but she failed. For her, father was an image of a giant. When she went near him to have a nice talk, he used to scold her. So she would often get a nice scolding from her father. That is why she did not want to go close to her father, right? Sorry. Now we continue ahead. She was too much upset due to past behavior, father's behavior. At the same time, she saw the McDonalds and their children playing the next door. She became very sad and compared her father with her neighbor. Now, this is an extremely important part in the lesson, right? Here in the story, you will find it on page number 35. Come to page number 35, everyone. Paragraph number 9. Everybody, page number 35, paragraph number 9. And here it says, the McDonald's lived next door, right? Now here what is she doing? She's comparing her father with one of her neighbors, right? Now, like I told you, we can all relate this story to ourselves. Why? Because we all do it at some point in our lives. As children, we sometimes compare our parents with others' parents, right? When the parents are not able to provide us with something, we get angry with them and tell them, see, my friend's parents are giving her so much, so many facilities, but you are not giving me this, you're not giving me that, right? We complain to our parents. And similarly, sometimes parents also compare their children with somebody else's children. see somebody else's child is scoring so many marks, you are not scoring well, he is studying so nicely, you are not studying. So these comparisons in any relationship are very natural. Okay, so she is also comparing her father with her neighbor, Mr. McDonald. Now, what is the reason behind that comparison? Why is she comparing? She is comparing because she can see that Mr. McDonald is spending quality time with his children. Mr. McDonald had 3 to 4 children and he was spending quality time with all of his children. He was playing with all of them. Whereas she was the only daughter of her father, yet her father did not take out time for her, right? I will stop sharing this screen for a while. I will open the whiteboard, right? And I want you to write what I am writing, okay? Everybody to note this down in the notebooks that you are sitting along. So we see that she is comparing her father with Mr. McDonald. So comparison between her father and Mr. McDonald. Now, why is that comparison? The comparison is there because her father doesn't spend any time with her, okay? Doesn't spend any time with her. Whereas, what does Mr. McDonald do? Mr. McDonald, she can always see Mr. McDonald playing with his children, okay? So, Mr. McDonald plays with his children. So she might be thinking that probably Mr. McDonald is a better father than her own father. Okay, I want you all to write this down. She compares her father with Mr. McDonald because she can see from her window that Mr. McDonald plays with his children, whereas his own father doesn't play with her, okay, doesn't spend time with her, doesn't even talk to her properly, right? And then she decided that in this world there are different kinds of father, right? So she felt that there are different kinds of fathers in the world. Probably she was not lucky enough to get a good father, right? This happens, this kind of comparison do come within us when we are talking about any relationship, right? Let me see, I have a message in the chat. It says, okay, yes, if you have space you can write it in the book itself, no issues. Okay, if you have written it down, raise your hand. In case you have not written it, I'll keep this whiteboard open for next few seconds. You can just, because these are meant for your notes, you can use your own short forms to write it. Okay, but make sure when you're writing the answers, you're not using any kind of shortcuts. Here, this comparison that I'm talking about is there on page number 35, paragraph number 9. So you can write it there itself. Okay. All right. So after this comparison, what happens? Suddenly one day, her mother falls sick, right? And her grandmother accompanies the mother to the hospital. So who is left at home? Kezia is left at home with the maid and with her father, okay? As it is, she doesn't talk to her father, so she is extremely afraid as to how she would spend her night, how she would spend the time alone at home because she had nobody to talk to, because we saw that she did not talk to her father at all. Now I will go back to the PPT. All right, you can all lower your hands, bache. Okay, so like I told you, one day her mother and her grandmother were not at home because her grandmother had fallen, sorry, her mother had fallen sick and her grandmother had to accompany her mother to the hospital, okay? So she went to her, sorry, she went to her maid, her name was Alice, and she was afraid. She wanted Alice to accompany her to her room, but Alice could not do that. And then she asked Alice that what she would do if she would have a nightmare. Okay, and Alice then asks her that then Alice then told her that she should sleep and not disturb her father. So when Alice said this, Kezia decided to go to her room, right? But when she slept, she got a nightmare. Now, this description of the nightmare is given on page number 37. All of you come to page number 37, and the very first lines on page number 37 tell us the nightmare. What was the nightmare? The butcher with a knife and a rope, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out. Okay. So basically, many critics who have read this lesson and those who have analyzed this dream, this nightmare of Kezia, they have felt that probably the butcher here signifies the father, right? The butcher in the dreams was trying to terrify her, was trying to frighten her, and in real life, Kezia was quite afraid of her father. So this butcher could be a replica of the father, right? So when she had this nightmare, she quickly woke up crying, and the only person that she could think of calling was her grandmother because she was closest to the grandmother, right? But when she actually opened her eyes, who did she find? She found her father standing in front of her. Who was standing? Her father. And he asked her, what's the matter? Okay. And then again, because she had a nightmare and she saw her father, she started to stammer. And in that stammering, she started telling him about the nightmare here. But here we see a completely different avatar of the father, a completely different father that we have from what we had seen at the beginning, right? What did the father do? The father laid down Kezia on the bed and he lied down beside Kezia in order to comfort her, right? So we see that there is a change in the father by the end of the story, and we realize that probably the father is not as bad as Kezia used to think, right? Maybe the father was very busy in his work, very busy in his professional life that he could not find enough time to spend with his daughter, right? But today, this particular night, tonight, when nobody was at home, father got this opportunity to spend some time with the daughter. Okay, she woke Shiv. Sorry, this we have done. So I was telling you that the father laid Kezia on the bed and he lied down beside Kezia. Half asleep still with the butcher's smile all about her it seemed, she crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. So we see by the end the relationship seems to be changing. Okay. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, right? So we see that the father here is completely different from what he was at the beginning of the story, okay? Tired out, he slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father. And now we see Kezia's thoughts towards her father changing. Initially, we find her comparing her father with Mr. McDonald, but now her outlook towards her father had changed. Not so big after all, with no one to look after him. So she realized that the father was burdened with the responsibilities of the family. Probably that is why he did not have too much time to spend with her. Okay. He was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness. and every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. McDonald. Underline this line, everyone. Paragraph number 12. And every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. McDonald. So she realized that there was no point in comparing her father with Mr. McDonald, because Mr. McDonald was a different person than her own father. Her own father had his own duties, responsibilities to take care of. Okay. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stirred suddenly and sighed. What's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream? Oh, said the little girl, my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear. So we see that now that the father was close to the daughter could realize that there was no point in comparing somebody else with her own father, because her own father was good in his own way. Okay. Now, one thing that I want to tell you why Kezia was so much afraid of her father was because the father at the beginning was a little harsh, right? In one of the episodes in the story, Kezia made an effort to come close to her father, and in order to do that, she was suggested by her grandmother to make a birthday gift for her father, right? So she wanted to make a cushion for her father, so she got a nice fabric, right? She sewed it from three sides and she wanted to fill it with something. Now, when she looked for something to fill it with, she found a few papers lying on her father's table. So she tore those papers, she filled those papers in that cushion, and she sewed it from the fourth end as well, and she made a nice cushion for her father as a gift. But the gift did not turn out as she expected. Why? Because the papers that she had torn, those papers belonged to sorry, those papers belonged to her father. They were important papers of his office, right? And when he found that those papers were torn by Kezia, he became extremely angry, and out of his anger he started beating Kezia. Okay. Yes, the gift was before the nightmare part, right? The gift was before the nightmare part. The nightmare comes at the end, but she made this attempt in the middle of the story. Okay. Because her father beat her with the stick on her hand, that was another reason why she got this nightmare. Okay. So we learn from this story that basically when we are talking about relationships, when we are talking about parents, we all are busy with our professional lives, but yes, parents must find time to spend with their children and understand their emotions, right? And same goes for the children as well. Children should also try to find time from their routine, right, to spend some time with their parents. Children talk to their friends often, but they should also sit with their parents and with their grandparents for that matter to spend some quality time with them. Okay, Suhani is raising her hand. Suhani, please unmute yourself and ask what you wanted to. Suhani, did you want to ask something?
I'm sorry, it was my mistake.
Okay, fine, Richard. All right. So this lesson teaches us about the minute psychological facts about dealing with our children. Several events around us guide us to assess each other to strengthen interpersonal relationships. So interpersonal relationship would mean that a relationship needs to work from two ways, both the children and the parents. Okay, now we are left with very less time. The session might end anytime. I'll share a video link on GC. Please go through that video, and also a handout has been uploaded on GC with the introduction, summary and question answers of the lesson. Okay, please keep those handouts with you very safely. You've already been told about it, right? I will end the session for today here. Thank you everyone.